Hello everybody. Every good recipe needs a little mystery, and today we're going to reveal our secret ingredient to our venison chili. When I say chili, I mean chili with beans. I know in some places they don't use beans in their chili. I don't know what they're thinking, but anyway, the chili I'm talking about is chili with beans. And so stick around and we're going to reveal our secret ingredient. And it's a secret ingredient that makes a big difference. It really makes a difference in the taste. And I think you'll like it. So anyway, thanks for joining in, and we're going to get to cooking. Okay, well the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go over the ingredients. And the one thing I really like about this recipe is that it's a simple ingredients. Of course, you can make this more complicated if you want to. You can take and use dried beans and cook those. All of those things you can do if you want. But anyway, basically we just we like the Bush's black beans, and then we use the kidney beans in it, and we'll use a can of light and then a can of dark red just to give it a little different color. Also, we'll use two types of tomatoes. We'll use the crushed peeled tomatoes, and then also the petite tomatoes, the diced kind. Usually use a couple cans of these in a recipe, and the recipe that I'm going to be doing today is going to basically center around about 2 pounds of the venison burger. And of course, the venison burger is the star of the show. It's over in the sink draining, and so we'll get to it in a minute. Some of the other ingredients is onion. We'd like to put a little bit of that in, and some garlic, fresh garlic. Also, one of the things we started using here in the last year or so is the Rotel diced tomatoes with the habaneros. That gives it a little kick, a little spice. And then sometimes we'll dump in another can of mild green chilies just to get that little green color. As far as spices, of course, we have chili powder and cinnamon, allspice, and cumin. Actually, very interesting, my wife and I have been making this recipe together for about 3 or 4 years now, and somehow or another I missed the ingredients of the allspice and the cinnamon. I didn't actually realize that until we started talking about making this video. So I guess she was keeping that a secret from me. And then of course the other thing that we do that's a little different besides the ground venison, we like to use a smoked sausage in there. That just gives it another little flavor. And then of course, like I said, we have our secret ingredient, and we'll reveal that a little later on. So stick around in the video. You'll want to see what that, because that makes all the difference in the world. So anyway, we're going to start opening some cans, draining some beans. Well, that's a blooper. So we're going to get going here. We're going to start opening some cans, draining the beans, and getting ready, preparing their ingredients, getting the onion, the garlic, and everything ready. And then we'll put it all together, and we'll show you how we do that. Very simple, very easy. You can make it in about, probably about an hour, hour and a half. So anyway, we're going to get started. Okay, well, I know what some of you are thinking is that the wine must be the secret ingredient. But a lot of people like to cook with wine. I like to cook with wine too, yep. Except for I don't put it in the chili. I just like to sip on it while I'm cooking. Just kind of gets me ready for the chili. So anyway, now we're going to get to cooking. Cooking with wine. Okay, so you get a little workout with this hand can opener, but anyway, you got to put a little work into it. So it works pretty good. Okay, so you saw me a while ago. I added the beans after I rinsed them real good, got all of the juice out of the beans. With the tomatoes, we're just dumping them right out of the can into here, into the big pot. I suggest using a fairly good sized pot so you don't have to worry about it boiling over or cooking over or whatever. I'm going to add in the no-tail diced tomatoes with the habaneros. And we might add those green chilies in just a little later. Okay, a little recap for you so far. We minced up the garlic, cut up the onions, and put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Since you're starting out with just the onions and garlic, just a little bit of that to cook that. And so just kind of getting this to where the onions are kind of a little bit translucent, cooked a little bit. I wish you could smell this through the camera. Just love the smell of garlic cooking. So anyway, almost ready for the star of the show, the venison burger. So I think we're going to just go ahead and add that in here, and then we'll just brown that up and get that ready to go. Still cooking with a little wine. Who knows, we might actually put some in it. Can't hurt. You see, I just put that right in over the onions. And I like this wooden spatula just to kind of break up the venison, cook it down. Also, one of the other things that I didn't show you on camera is I like to kind of drain the blood off of the package of the venison before I put it in here. I'll just kind of keep cutting this up a little bit with this spatula, kind of breaking it down and let it cook here. So it's kind of cooking with the onions and the garlic in there. And then once we get that up into smaller pieces, then we'll add that to our chili. I usually do it on medium to high heat to start with. I have found that it helps to cover it, helps it cook a little quicker, keeps a lot of the juices and flavors in. So we'll just let that cook here for a little bit, and we might add a little more water to our beans and tomatoes over here and kind of get that ready to go. And then we'll put in our spices. If you're doing this with ground beef, a lot of times you want to drain everything before you add it to your chili mix. With the deer and just a little bit of fat that they add, and the fact that it's a very lean meat, sometimes I kind of wonder if it's even necessary. I always just kind of wait until after it cooks and just kind of see what consistency it is. So adding fat to anything makes it taste better. This last deer that we got, it was a kind of a medium or small deer. And I tell you, it's been some of the best eating that I think we've had in a while. I mean, it's usually always good, but you know, sometimes with depending on everything about the deer and all of it, sometimes it'll taste a little different, but this one has really been good. Kind of makes me think I'm not always looking for the big deer anymore. I'm looking for the ones that I think will have the best meat. Don't get me wrong, big buck comes out, yeah, I'm gonna probably harvest it, but for eating, medium-sized doe, I believe is a ticket. So we're gonna let this cook a little bit more, get a little more brown, and like I said, I don't think I'm gonna drain it. I don't know. I'll see. I might have to check. Check with Diane and see about that. She's my consultant on all of this, and she's the one that really knows how to do it. And it's starting to look really good. I'm going to put the top back on and let it cook a little bit more. All right, looks. Hey Diane, let me ask you about this right here. You think I need to drain this? I'm thinking I don't.
That's probably fine.
So like I said, sometimes we drain it, sometimes we don't. With ground beef, you definitely would want to drain it. All right, in she goes. All right, it's starting to look like something here now. So anyway, we got a few more things. We got to put our spices in. We got to put in the smoked sausage, and then we'll let it cook. Just slice this up like this, and a lot of times we'll just take some of it and just cut that in half, like so. You can do whatever you want. If you want to leave it in a whole piece, you can. When I say whole piece, I mean like a whole round piece like this. I like it cut up a little bit. Any way you do it will be fine. So you can kind of tell this is a very meaty chili. Adding the meat, adding the smoked sausage just gives it another flavor in the mix. One bowl of this makes a meal for sure. Anyway, I'm just going to put this in the chili. Now I'm going to use this whole thing. This was one whole package of smoked sausage. We like the private selection from Kroger. It's good, but any kind of smoked sausage, any kind of flavored things that you like. Like I said, this is just what we've settled on that we like. Okay, so in goes the rest of the smoked sausage. We'll give this another stir. Just get everything all in there. Starting to look really good, really good. Okay, so here's my spice list. I thought I'd just share that with you, and then I'll actually put it in. The chili powder, usually 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Cumin, cumins definitely don't leave that out. Cumin, 3 tablespoons also. Cinnamon, 1 tablespoon. So that's the 3 C's: cinnamon, cumin, and chili powder. a tablespoon of allspice, and you can do that to your liking. And then with the red pepper, just depending on how hot you want to make it. Remember, we've already put the habaneros in there, so that's going to add some heat there. But on the red peppers, about a half teaspoon of red pepper. Got to be careful with the red pepper. Usually once we do that and we let it cook a while, we'll do a kind of a taste test somewhere about halfway through just to see if it's spicy like we like it. If you get it too spicy, it's hard to take it out, so it's a lot easier just to add it a little bit later. So go easy on the spice until you kind of taste it and make sure it's to your liking. So we're gonna add in the spice. So there's the chili powder, 3 tablespoons. Next is our cumin. Also, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of cumin. 1, 2, 3. That was a mistake. You know what that was? That was the red pepper. I better take some of this out. Don't make that mistake. It looks the same. We'll see how that goes. Cumin. Okay, so cinnamon and allspice, 1 tablespoon. I'm going to go with the cinnamon first. Yeah. Cheers. I've got the heat on about medium, about a number 6 on the stove, which is kind of medium high. I could let it cook for 30 minutes like that maybe. You're really just kind of getting everything. The meat's already cooked, of course. The beans you're just heating. But you're giving it a chance for all of those flavors to kind of permeate the beans and the meat and everything so that it kind of is all together. So the way most chilies are, every time you heat them up, they get a little better. That's the one thing I like about it, because I think all those flavors really become part of the whole thing. Okay, we're going to let that cook a little bit. When we come back, we're going to put in the secret ingredient. So stay tuned just a little bit longer. Well, there it is, folks. Did you guess it? Did you guess the secret ingredient? Anyway, Grandma's molasses. We've tried other molasses, and for some reason this one just seems to work the best. So, and this is like a 12-ounce container of that, and we put at least half of this in a pot of chili like this. Sometimes we'll come back and add a little bit more. Just depends on. I tend to like things a little sweet hot. My wife tends to like it just more flavorful, but not real sweet. So we try to compromise, but about a half a jar of this, and it makes the difference. That's the secret ingredient. Might have been about 3/4. I don't know. We don't measure that. We got something here. It's starting to get a little thicker, and flavors are starting to blend together. It's going to be good. Nice and meaty. Plenty of beans, protein, a lot of proteins in this dish. So there's a few carbs too with the beans, but they're good carbs. We'll just put the top on, let it cook for about another, say 15-20 minutes, cut it back down on low, and then Wait as long as we can. Another winner. Okay, so there you go, folks. Venison chili with the secret ingredient of Grandma's molasses. Anyway, that's one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do, is to try some different things. Hope you'll try this recipe. I feel pretty confident you'll like it. I'm sure if you don't, you can find some friends that would. It's one of the great things about hunting, that is being able to cook your own recipes and enjoy your harvest. When I started hunting again back about 5 or 6 years ago, I decided that if I was going to hunt, I was going to learn the recipes and learn how to cook the wild game, and in order to be able to eat it and really enjoy the full experience. And I think that's what it's about. It's the full experience. Hunting season really lasts all year. Now, there's just a short period of time in the fall and early winter that you actually get to go out and harvest the deer, but hunting season starts, well, really it's year round. Like I said, as soon as the season's over where we can harvest, we'll start thinking about next year, about food plots, and in the spring we'll start getting everything ready. We'll take a survey, kind of see what deer are still on the property, kind of prepare for that, and all through the summer we'll be sprucing things up, getting the hunting areas ready. So when the fall comes, we're actually ready. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the chili, and I hope you have a blessed day. Take care. God bless. So next time we're going to be cooking tenderloin, and we're going to be using a recipe that we've used on pork tenderloin for many years, and it's a great recipe. We use it's sort of a ginger-based marinade. Delicious. We tried it. We hadn't tried it on venison until about a couple weeks ago, and we had some fresh tenderloin, so we decided to do that. So we're going to share that recipe with you next time, where we cook the tenderloin, we marinate it, and I think you'll enjoy it also. So that's coming up. Hit that little like and subscribe, the little bell icon, and in that way when we do post that video, you'll get notification of it. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing, and stay tuned. We're going to be doing some other recipes throughout the rest of this fall hunting season. So anyway, take care.